Good afternoon, everyone. Betsy, thank you. It's a great privilege to introduce to you ABA ROLI Rule of Law Champion Tom Lindley. Tom, if you could join me up here, please. Tom is a partner in the Portland, Oregon office of Perkins Coie, where until recently he has served as firm-wide chair of the Energy, Environment, and Resources practice. Recognized in the 2014 by Best Lawyers Portland as Environmental Lawyer of the Year, his day job is to assist clients throughout the United States in complex environmental matters. On the side, he and his colleagues have become invaluable resources to ABA ROLI's efforts to address China's critical environmental problems and their threat to citizens' basic health and safety, especially that of disadvantaged citizens living in low-income and rural areas. Huge problems throughout China. Tom began supporting ABA ROLI's work in China in 2014 when he served as an expert presenter at a workshop on heavy metal pollution laws and regulations, in addition to providing individual strategy consultations with ABA ROLI's grassroots environmental practice. Building on the success of these initial meetings in China, the following year, Tom and an associate, Laura Kerr, who I think is here somewhere. Laura, glad you're here, worked closely via teleconference with ABA ROLI's Beijing-based staff to develop curricula and materials for 11 international technical exchange activities with Chinese counterparts. In May 2015, with some financial support from their firm and Tom's own pocket, Tom and Laura traveled to China and were featured presenters in a 3-day environmental pollution lawyering skills workshop in Chengdu City. Additionally, 3 technical assistance discussions in Beijing on U.S. toxic waste regulation for leading environmental scholars engaged in drafting China's key environmental laws and policies, and for 6 consultation meetings with for environmental lawyers and civil society organizations developing change-making litigation strategies. The market value of Perkins Coie's contribution to ABA ROLI's China program totaled over $125,000. And more importantly, Tom's passion, his passion for environmental protection and for improving environmental health for China's vulnerable citizens was obvious, inspiring Chinese environmental lawyers to undertake groundbreaking impact litigation that is making a considerable difference in the lives of countless Chinese. Tom, please accept this token of our appreciation and the admiration of your colleagues.
I like that.
Yes, good. Please.
I want to say thanks. Most of all, I want to say thanks for being allowed to participate in all of this. Now, I was told that I could have a couple of minutes, and that, for a lawyer is impossible to resist. The work started actually, and I'll have a reason for saying this, the work started actually in 2013 when our group was asked, hexavalent chrome's a big problem in China. You don't have a cell phone, you don't have a pocket watch or wristwatch without it. Hex chrome is a carcinogen. They've got millions of tons of slag all over the country. Tell them what the U.S. does about it. And so a team of us put together an almost 80-page document and a 10-page summary. And that led to the first event you heard in 2014, to another event in 2015. The 2014 event, various environmental activist groups were giving us questions like litigation identification. When you face a situation that have multiple pollution sources, what's your litigation strategy? And I was given 5 minutes to address that. So clearly we needed a second program, and we did the much longer program that you just heard described. The 2 things I want to chat about, though, are the why and the lessons learned. believing in the essential dignity of every rational being and the importance of the ecosystems on which they depend gives me, as an environmental lawyer, a purpose. Now, in my day-to-day practice, I represent businesses, big businesses, small businesses, occasionally plaintiffs, but most often big businesses. But even big businesses know that you've got to have the ecosystems on which to grow. And underlying the environmental concerns are what you all do. The idea of the rule of law, that the leaders have to be responsive to the law as well, even when they're state-owned enterprises in China. Now, okay, that's the highfalutin stuff. What's the personal reason? Well, in China, I felt like I was back in college and law school. I was getting to work on great causes with great people, enormous enthusiasm, intense curiosity, and enormous drive. It was as exciting and meaningful and as emotionally significant as anything else I've done in 39 years of law practice. So what did I learn from this? What are the lessons that I take away? One thing, I was reminded of a quote from the great Bob Marley. A few of you may remember Bob Marley. Do not fear discomfort, because it's only through discomfort that you can learn and grow. Those who do pro bono do it for a lot of reasons. Some because it's doing some good. Some because they're required to. Some because it's the right thing to do. Leave aside the other two. But many who don't do pro bono, I think, after watching this as a practice group leader and a lawyer in different firms, many who don't do pro bono do it because they're so comfortable doing what they do. They already know a subject area. They already know the system. It doesn't count on your billable hours. It doesn't bring income to your firm. So they just don't do it. But life begins at the end of your comfort zone. So what I learned was to try to take this beyond, what to talk about people doing. And that's to remind people that you're trying something new, you're learning, you're expanding your paradigms, you're becoming more than you were. And with that, I want to thank Yijin Zhang and Jay Monteverde and Jen Young and all of you with the ABA, the team that I worked with, for the opportunities to learn and to serve and to be a part of all of this. So thank you. And